welcome to ZZ Talk with your host, Zeno.
And Zeus.
Today is a very different show. This is going to be one of the many collaboration videos we hope to do during the run of our show. And today we're joined by two special guests. It's the guys from the radio show, M16 and Easy. Guys, welcome to the ZZ Talk YouTube show, not yet a podcast. How are you guys doing?
Glad to be here, man. You know, it's always good hanging out with y'all.
Right.
So glad to be doing that again.
Glad to be here. Get to talk some smack with you guys and just talk about all kind of different things.
It's been a long time coming. I mean, when Zeus, what was it, like 3 months ago that we did?
3 months ago. It was before the new year. Definitely before the new year.
Well, it's the first one on our channel. The last one was on you guys' channel. So this is like reciprocated.
The last one was an actual podcast. So your boys, Zeus and Zeno, are actually in iTunes.
We made it big.
Check out the radio show, The Aftermath. That episode.
We have listeners in India.
That's dope. International.
All right.
Yes.
So I guess to start off, I guess I'll throw it to you, M16. Tell the people about who you are. Just a little bit, just like I'm a Saints fan, which I don't know why I am that, but
No, well, outside
just
of
in case there was any doubt with that background.
right.
yeah, you should see the rest of my room. This is just one side.
This
You should
is
see the
one
rest
wall.
of. That's just one wall.
Hmm.
But well, as far as myself, as you can clearly see, I'm a Saints fan, native Louisiana guy. So same with my brother, we're all about Louisiana sports. So we're avid Pelicans and Saints fans. He watches college sports. I don't really dabble in college sports. I feel like they should be paying those men and women, but that's a story for another day. But yeah, I mean, I'm a pretty basic dude as far as, I'm sort of like you guys, I'm into comic books, the comic book movies. I like sports, and just like you guys, I'm a fellow podcaster as well. And I used to rap a little bit, but I'm moving on from that. And yeah, so I'm, sort of moving into this whole, podcasting, radio host thing. But hip hop is always here for me, though.
Maybe by the end of the episode, we get a 16 from you. M16. Oh my God, just got it.
We figured it out.
Mind
I thought
blown.
it was a gun.
Well,
Yeah, I thought
Rapid fire takes too,
that's what we call a double entendre. Easy. Tell us about yourself.
So yeah, like my brother, podcaster, big sports fan. I'd like to think I'm pretty in tune with what's going on in the world, politics, sports, business, stocks, anything you could think of. I probably have talked about it with somebody at some point. Definitely not scared to have a conversation with anybody. So definitely glad to be on the show and looking forward to the conversation.
Sweet. All right. Zeus, we did have a couple of questions for the guys.
All right. So since you guys have watched the show a few times, you obviously know that our standard thing is do a little introduction, and then, we go into our top 5, and then we talk about our topics. Today, because you guys are the special guests, we're going to have a special episode. We're going to have a special section. There's going to be a quick Q&A. Just, you guys told us a little bit about yourselves. We want to know a little bit more about yourself specifically when it comes to the podcast world. So our first question, and whichever one, you know what, I'll let y'all know. I know M16, so I'm going to let Easy answer the first one first. So real quickly, how did you guys come up with your show?
Okay, so this is like a 2-part question. The first part, my brother and his friends had one like version of the show, and y'all did a lot of episodes. I don't want to throw out the wrong number, but they had a pretty long run with that show. Stopped the show, and then we basically made this one, the radio show. And I was in college at the time, and my brother basically was like, "Hey, we're basically starting over with this radio show. I want you to hop on." And I'm like, "Nah, I'm not really trying to do that." And he's like, "Look, come on, just do it." Long story short, since 2015, we've had the radio show, which we had a run for about a year. I guess we had about 20 episodes. We had a good bit of episodes. Kind of went on a little hiatus. once the pandemic hit, we basically all came back together, and now we have this incarnation of the radio show. And we just had our 100th episode, which will air coming up at the end of this week.
Oh, actually, hey, so M16, I guess you can answer this. What was the difference between the previous incarnation and then this incarnation, and like basically, and are those episodes available for us to be able to listen to if we want to catch some of the older episodes to see a young, fresh M16 on the podcast?
Okay, so the previous incarnation of the show was called Goat Radio. So this was like 2010, 2011. And I would say the biggest difference between what we did then and now is that we didn't know what we're doing. I'm not going to say like we know, especially what we're doing now for sure, but definitely in 2010 and 2011, it was a lot less polished. We didn't really, let's just say this, that we were not serious whatsoever. We did a lot of goofy things that wouldn't float, like some of the humor that was okay, 10, 11 years ago. Yeah, we'd have got kicked off. We do any of that stuff we was doing back then, we get kicked off the air immediately.
So basically, don't go look for those episodes.
And I was going to answer Zeus's question with that, Zeno, that the only person who has the rest of those episodes is me. I had them taken down. It's housed on a PC somewhere. And those were good times. I'm not going to diss what we did, but there's no way some of the humor that we were doing back then could float today. Yes, no way.
A lot of learnings from Goat Radio, which translated into the product you see now.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess that naturally leads to the next question, which is, how would you describe the radio show to someone who's never listened to it or watched the YouTube clips? How would you describe it?
I guess the best way to explain it, the tagline is we're a hip hop variety show, because the focus of the show in the first place was on hip hop, because the original hosts that are still around, it was centered around music. We were talking hip hop. We still play hip hop music. Not as much so more now that we're on YouTube, because even though we're friends with a lot of the artists, our good buddy, Zeno's smiling about it right now, our good buddy, the copyright strike is sitting out there waiting to get you. But when we're doing podcasting, as long as I have permission from the artist, I can play whatever I want to. But the focus of the show is hip hop. But now with so many things going on, we dabble into other things. We review movies. We review albums. So it's essentially a hip hop variety show is the best way I can describe it.
Okay. When you said the copyright strike thing, it reminded me of our very first episode. So I took down the clip after we recorded Zeus and I started putting it together. And we had in our intro, right now, anyone that knows our show knows that it's this very flowery song at the beginning. But before, it was actually, because the name of our production company is Brown Paper Bag Productions. It was actually Brown Paper Bag by DJ Khaled. like 10 seconds.
Oh, man.
That was the intro. And immediately YouTube was like, nope. So I had to go with the alternate intro song. Zeus, next question is yours.
Yeah. So you guys, so I've seen quite a few episodes, and I've noticed that you guys have at the most is 6 hosts. And I've also noticed that you guys are able to do, some shows with less hosts. So my question is, does it make it easier having so many hosts? Because obviously on ZZ Talk, there has to be the 2 Zs. So if one of us isn't available, we can't do the show. So is it harder or easier having as many hosts as you guys have?
I'll let AZ take that one.
Okay. I think it's easier with more people just because of how we do the show. I'm big on, if there's a topic or a situation, I love to hear a lot of opinions about it, because, I think a certain way, but there could be some other people that think a different way and bring a new perspective to the table. Especially when we play One Gotta Go, the more people that are on the show, the better, because you get to hear more controversy when we play that game. But just even with different topics, I might feel a certain way about something, or 16 might feel a certain way about something. And then, Diva, Cujo, Jerk, Tiki Blue, they might have a different opinion, or they might bring something else to the table that's like, okay, I didn't think about that. So I think the way we do our show, the more the merrier, just because, you know, we have more content and more things to give the listener or the viewer. But, you know, sometimes when we don't have the host or all of them, we can still kind of flow because we kind of all have that chemistry now that, you know, hey, if two of the hosts can't make it, you know, we can still flow with the show and just talk different things or pivot to something else.
2 follow-ups in that. What's one gotta go? And 2, how do all of you know each other, the co-hosts?
Okay, so one gotta go is a segment we do every week. We have topics that range from what singer gotta go, what food chain, restaurant, what like
I've seen a clip of one of these before. They're hilarious.
Yeah, so like the last one was like what type of wing gotta go, like grilled, fried, crispy, wet, and you know we say, hey, this one I like it, but out of all of these, this one gotta go. So that's basically how the game goes. It kind of started from you know, the memes that you see on Facebook, and I was like, hey, 16, we should play this on the game because we all just kind of have different tastes and things like that. So something I might passionately feel is number one, you know, one of the co-hosts might disagree. So it's always an interesting debate towards the end of
the variety and variety show.
There you go.
So how do you guys know each other? Well, obviously I know how you two know each other.
Yeah, we're related. But to be honest, 16, this is all 16's friends that, you know, he worked with or connected with in some way or fashion. And because I'm his brother, I happen to get to know them just as well. So I would probably say that we're all pretty good friends.
Okay. Sounds like M16 is the nucleus.
He is. I would definitely give him his credit on that. He is the nucleus. Without his network, I don't know if we would have enough guests for the show.
Come on, man.
Oh, okay. I have one more question, but I'll leave that to the end because it makes sense to end with that one. Zeus, you had a question about the voices?
Yeah, actually, so that actually leads perfectly to the next question, which is you guys said that you guys are a hip hop variety show, and I've seen some episodes where it gets a little bit, I wouldn't say too serious, but it does get serious. The Ice Cube, backing Trump kind of comes into mind.
Yep. Being
6 individual black voices, obviously between me and Zeno, I'm Hispanic, he's black. More specifically, I call myself immigrant adjacent. He is immigrant. So, we have these different views coming from different backgrounds. All of you guys being black, but as we know, our cultures are never monolithic. We all have different viewpoints. So is it also important for you guys to be able to share these individual black voices? Is that also something important that you definitely that y'all guys want to come through the earphones, basically saying, hey, these are different views from people with similar backgrounds, but also different experiences?
Absolutely. I take a lot of pride in the fact that we're a proudly black show, and I'm not ashamed of that. It's important to me, actually. And to be able to express those views with people who I respect, because that's the cool part about the show is that we don't always have to agree or get along in a certain subject, but everybody gets their voice. It's been times, when we're talking about subjects like you were talking about, Zeus, where it got really serious and it was political. We've had listeners who accuse us of being, well, you guys are too liberal or too far left. And I was like, okay, so first off, you'll never know our politics because it's not Republican, it's not Democrat, we're anti-stupid. So we're all about, but it's true. It's like, if the Republicans are doing something, we'll call them out. But when the Democrats were wearing the kente cloths and they were kneeling, we ripped them too because it was disgusting. So
we remember that.
Yeah. So it's very important to be able to have that black voice or minority voice, because people look at it like, Zeus, you're a minority too. We're fighting the same battles, man. We're on the same side. So it's like, it's good to cultivate that with people that you can respect and put that out there and see how people feel about it.
Okay. Yeah, good answer. Before I get into my last question, if YouTube has the functionality, I'm going to have your channel the button to go straight to your channel at the bottom of this video.
Nice.
It's going to be in the description. So guys, please go check out the channel. A lot of good content there. The last question is, where do you guys want your channel to go in the future? Like from where it is now, what improvements do you see that you can make? And what
tell them real quickly what your main thing that you said for our show.
Oh, for ours, I was like, I want to, because Zeus phrases it as, where do you see this podcast going?
Mm-hmm.
Said, well, I want to make it a podcast because right now it's just a YouTube show. We're not like on any of the podcast platforms. But yeah,
well, I can help you with that though when you're ready for that.
That would be great. All right. So where do you guys want your channel or your show to go in the future?
16. That's all you, but.
Man, that's a good question. They come up with some good stuff here, man. Now I know how it feels to be on the other side of when I'm peppering guests with questions here. But I want to say that we're still, even though we're like with this incarnation basically 5 years into it, there's always room for improvement. There's so many podcasts now. You're seeing different things that people are doing. What I would love to do is make this our jobs. That's really the main goal, to make this our jobs where we can provide this content and make it a way to keep the lights on. So that's the biggest thing. So I want to say that big goal is to collaborate a lot more with other podcasters, continue building the network, and see where it takes us. But the goal is to make this channel, make this show a entity that is profitable, and hopefully have a network of friends that we can bring in and we can all just do it together, All
right. Well, hopefully this helps multiply your viewer base. Any additions? Easy?
No, I think 16 basically covered it. I think this is a hobby on steroids because we really do enjoy doing it, but we also see a future in it. And I thoroughly enjoy it. I try to make it, every Tuesday and just see what we have to talk about. There's always content to talk about. It's just a matter of, can we get it all in one show?
All right, cool. Well, that's it for our Q&A. Top 5, Zeus.